Hey guys, this is Drax, and for this one we are going to be talking about the latest critical mass update on PlanetSide 2, considering those new Meltdown alerts. Now I won't be talking about any of the combined arms changes in this one, but we're going to be doing that in the near future. So here, let's talk about reasons to fight. Back in 2012, when people started to play this game, there was a good amount of hype. A free-to-play game with massive continents where thousands of people could fight seamlessly. For several months, players enjoyed the new refreshing experience PlanetSide 2 had to offer. But after only a short while, player numbers began to drop and a question was raised. Why are we fighting? The answer then was simple. Based on faction lore, TR stood for order, with a belief that no individual is above the rules. Anyone who went against these rules were against the Republic. NC split from TR's oppression, seeking to free humanity from them, whilst also having to protect the people from Vanu's fanatical alien influence. Yes, the Vanu's sovereignty, with the belief that humans are still evolving, sought to push their biological limits through augmentation with alien technology. They vowed to destroy anyone who gets in their way. Now this was a good answer for a while, but as time went on, the answer of lore became not good enough. The game's development never went in line with lore, most notably Vanu, who are supposed to stand for alien technology and evolving, are often seen running around with NS weapons or NS standard vehicles. This isn't the player's fault though, this comes down to the development of the game and how free to play it is. Making faction specific weapons takes more money and more time. The positive note here is we should see some faction-specific infantry and gunner weapons in the near future. So with lore out the window for the most part, what other reasons did players have to fight? How about continent benefits? These were added so capping a continent would mean something. Once your side had dominated that continent, you'd get a small benefit to use on another. This in part was a good reason, but still not enough for the individual player. I often forget the continent benefits are even in effect, because they often don't directly affect me during gameplay. We needed something that was constantly in our minds. Now some might reason just for enjoyment. Maybe you enjoy infantry, vehicle combat, getting a good KDR, just shooting mans, enhancing your skill, playing as a squad, or working on directives. The problem is these aren't reasons to fight, they are reasons why you enjoy the game. Normally a fight ends with a winning side getting something of value. The best moment I can remember in PlanetSide 2's history, from my perspective, is when the servers Matheson and Waterson were about to be merged. The devs put together what was then called a merger smash. The winning side would get to keep their server's name. Now we were fighting for something. Everyone was all in. Both servers at the time still had very tactical outfits and the fights were amazing. Matheson ended up taking the victory, but only by a small margin. It's funny to think of now, as the devs first claimed there had been a miscount saying, "Oh sorry guys, actually Waterson won," and then they counted again and confirmed Matheson had won. In the end, the two were merged, and due to the nature of the fight, the unusual miscount at the end, and PlanetSide's past history, the server became Emerald. The fact remains though, that on the day we were fighting for something, and it was evident how much it meant to both sides. Instead of winning the right to keep our server's name, both servers ended up getting a base renamed after them. The Octagon and Esmir Munitions Corp became Waterson's redemption and Matheson's triumph. Now I'm not saying that you can have that kind of need to win in the game all the time, but returning to normal standard gameplay with the old alerts after that smash was not a great feeling. Yes, there were massive fights because two servers had just been merged, and we even had good pop on those off-peak hours, but the question, why are we fighting, still loomed. I took a short break from the game around this point, and later returned as the directive player, and I have to be honest here, without the directive system, I would probably lose interest fairly quickly. Becoming a directive player got me to focus on my mosquito axiom. Probably the first PlanetSide 2 video that I really enjoyed making for the channel. This led me on to covering the updates, and the channel grew from there. So part of my enjoyment for this game involves me making content for it now. Around 5 months ago, we gained the addition of the new implant system. This replaced the old one, removing the need for chargers and need for you to RNG to get the top tier. It did, however, add a ton of RNG just to get the one you wanted in the first place, especially on the exceptional tier 6 implants, which have an estimated drop rate of less than 1%. Some players have struggled to get even the basic implant they've wanted. The simple fact is this system was designed to make money. It's the first system I've seen in this game that can actually do so consistently. It's fairly simple and cheap to make implants, whereas the construction system, which probably made some money, also cost a lot of time and money to make. The implant system also applies to all players, whereas the construction system only appeals to a small percentage. The amount of players who actually want specific implants is high. Quite often I'll speak to someone who is after one of those exceptional ones. It's similar to Korean MMOs, take Archage and Black Desert for example. These both have RNG loot boxes with a very small chance of getting what you want. Still, these are often the biggest earners for those companies. The difference with PlanetSide is that you can buy these with certs, whereas Korean MMOs often only give you the option to buy with cash. Still, this doesn't stop players from doing so. Now, I haven't spent any money on the new implant system, but many people have, and those people, a minority among players, are probably the ones who allow the devs to consider making larger changes to the game in the future. My money has always been in the subscription. I've earned certs and bought implant packs. I've been lucky and I have all the currently available implants on my main character. What I don't have is them tiered up. Why is this? Simply because breakdown costs for implants are so low. ISO 4 is used to tier up implants. When I recently bought 6,000 certs worth of implants, the duplicates only broke down into 1,800 ISO 4. Probably would have been a bit more if they were all duplicates. So 6,000 certs gone and only a small amount of ISO 4 to show for it. This to me was the only drawback of the new implant system. So now a problem had become apparent, and the dev's way to fix it gives us our reason to fight. Around 1 month ago, the critical mass update was announced. This replaces the old alerts, now rewarding players for participation, preparation and teamwork. Currently only 30 minutes in length and triggered through a combination of territory and core team refinement, this incorporating the construction system, these new Meltdown alerts have in my eyes given PlanetSide a direction to go in. Rewards are earned based on how well a faction performed during the alert and how long a player has participated in it. The rewards being 300 ISO 4 if you win, and a cosmetic or item that is not available by any other means. Even if you do lose, you get a small amount of ISO 4 for your efforts, but winning is always the goal. With the system now on live, the alerts finally mean something. Squad play is key once again, and territory has greater meaning. I've been on the winning side a few times now, and come the end of the alert, everyone's looking forward to the reward popping up and sharing what they got with others. When you win a few alerts in a day, the ISO 4 amount really begins to add up. If your faction is on the ball, you can easily make 900 ISO over the course of a few hours, thus helping you to tier up those implants and fixing the problem with the low breakdown amount. So yes, PlanetSide now has a reason to fight, and that reason, simply put, is rewards. As with all updates however, a few issues have been brought to the surface. After alerts finish and the gameplay goes back to normal, it can take a while to trigger another. Now this is fair, seeing as you could potentially earn a lot of ISO 4 in a day, but normal gameplay feels a bit lackluster when the alert is not in effect. The main slow trigger reason being, core team refinement sometimes takes a bit too long. One side might have a load of territory, easily enough to trigger the alert, but would be waiting on the refinement to complete. This is only a suggestion at this point, but maybe the amount to be refined can be lowered in exchange for a slightly longer alert, and there could be additional ways to trigger it. Another issue is multiple alerts starting on different continents, giving each faction an easy win without a good fight. I've seen this happen a few times now, during peak hours where 3 continents are open, and because players are smart and good at maximising their time, they realise starting the alert on a separate continent will equal an easy win and an easy 300 ISO 4. The answer to fix this here is simple. Limit the amount of alerts that can take place at the same time to get more fights going on specific continents. So there we've talked about the game's history a bit, and needing players for a reason to fight. and that reason being met in a way with this new alert system. I've also pointed out a few issues that could do with tweaking or changing in the future. My questions for you all watching: are the current rewards worth fighting for? And another, what should Daybreak do to give us more reasons to fight? Maybe they could add some lore back into the game. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.